Hello, Tristan.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm very good. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. Welcome back to Sunday Sessions. If you guys are new to this, the Sunday Sessions is something that we do at Mackmyra together with Tristan from UK, and Tristan is mostly famous for being like an author for the Curious Bartender books, and also the founder of Black Rock and Whisky Me and a lot of stuff. You're like a prophet in the industry.
Well, thanks for saying that. Yeah, no, it's good to be back on these sessions again. It's a wonderful kind of moment in the week that I always look forward to on a Sunday afternoon, getting to sit down with you for 20 minutes, sharing a few cocktail recipe ideas. And actually, in all honesty, it's a good way for keeping myself on my toes, staying a little bit creative, using the Mackmyra products to develop some new drink ideas, simple drinks that are easy enough to replicate in a home. I know this because I'm in my home, like everyone else. So they have to be easy to replicate in a home, otherwise it wouldn't be possible. There's no rotovapes and sous vides and all that sort of stuff going on in this house. So it's a lovely thing to be doing, and especially given the range of whiskies as well, and the different kind of flavor profiles and mixing opportunities that they offer. Yeah,
and every Sunday that we've been doing this, we had a lot of different whiskies. We have everything from Svensk Ek it's a whiskey with that we use our own Swedish oak, at least 10% of the whiskey, and then we also have Svensk Rök, which is a more smoky note. So we have a wide range, but today we're going to talk about MACK. I think it's probably the most beautiful bottle we have with the most attitude, and MACK is the first Swedish single malt that is made for mixing, which is perfect for us because we like to mix cocktails. But it's also, I think it stands out in design. It's the guys that are in charge of Acne, the famous brand from Sweden, that also made the bottle design. So, and I think it stands out on the shelves. It's a different greenish color, so everybody sees it. Could you call it?
I see it as bluey green. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm colorblind, but we say blue greenish. Then we can say like Côte d'Azur. In France.
Yeah. That works for me. Okay. No, it's a cool bottle. I mean, it doesn't obviously. The thing about whiskey category is that there's so much tradition in it. Obviously less so in Sweden, but when we're talking about Scotland or America, and that's great, and it's one of the things we love about whiskey. But it can sometimes hold it back. It can bog it down a little bit, and it can make it seem inaccessible. Whereas this just looks accessible. It looks like something that says, "Pick me up, use me." I want to be mixed. I want to be drunk. I want, and that's cool. And it wouldn't look out of place in a speed rail in a bar, right? Where you just pop it up from the speed rail and pour it out, which is exactly what it's supposed to be used for, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's also because we always talk about grips with bartenders, and it's a great grip for everyone. If you have big hands, it doesn't matter. So you can really pour it.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a bottle of Svensk Rök here. I mean, that's a beautiful bottle and everything, lovely label, but less easy to grip because you're supposed to hold it like this and pour out little measures, right?
Yeah. So they actually thought it through. But flavor-wise, if we talk about because this is a good whiskey just to sip on, I think because it's so good just neat or with ice because I don't think you have to dilute this as much as you maybe need to do with other whiskeys to really feel the flavors. But both you and me, we don't dilute whiskey that much. I think we haven't diluted anything during the Sunday sessions. Actually,
I've never diluted anything.
No, ever. But flavor-wise, what do you feel about the MACK if you compare that to the other things that we've been trying?
Well, I mean, for me, it's got those sort of light, fruity, green, slightly herbaceous notes. So there's definitely apples and pears in there, like orchard fruit. But some of that sort of fresh summertime, sweet, slightly floral, maybe a touch of elderflower. It's floral and fruity and fragrant, and other things beginning with F. Can I swear? Can we swear on this?
Yes.
Can't we? Yeah, fucking delicious. It's just tasty stuff. And I think it's sometimes when you say, "Oh, this is a whiskey meant for mixing," I might make you worried about its credentials as a sipping whiskey, but being a whiskey intended for mixing, it's just super sippable. It goes down really easily. There's so little to dislike about it. It's probably, I would say, out of the entire range, the most accessible whiskey. For anyone looking to get into the category, then this is a fantastic starting point, be it as a neat dram or as used in a mixed cocktail.
Exactly, I think so too. Yeah, and I think also that was like when they launched MACK. I think that was the intention for everyone around Mackmyra to really have MACK as a starting point to like see this is what we do and this is what we stand for. That's why we can have MACK in bars. But then you have a whole range of different whiskeys. But I think this is like the heart for me for Mackmyra, because it's the attitude that we do Swedish single malt, but it's also the attitude that stands out in a bar. And I think if you have a Swedish single malt company, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I agree.
So what are we mixing today?
Cool. So when we mixed MACK last time, I did a super simple highball with apple juice and tonic, which again was sort of playing off those sort of green summer orchard fruit aromas and tastes. I want to do something slightly different this time. The weather here, I'm in Cornwall in the southwest. The weather here is pretty good today, and it feels like summer's pretty much arrived. So I was thinking, right, how do we distill summertime into a drink? So I'm keeping it long, but instead of a highball style drink, which a highball wouldn't typically contain citrus, I'm doing more like a Collins style cocktail. So I've got a citrus component, that being lemon juice. So I'm shaking it as well, which I think we were just talking before we started. This is the first shaken cocktail we've done on the Sunday sessions. Mostly because shaking cocktails. Yeah, definitely for me anyway. Maybe you did one. I don't know. But shaking cocktails at home is a bit of a faff, and there's a danger I'm going to get it all over my sofa. In spite of my skills as a bartender, I know how wrong these things can go. Anyway, cocktail shaker. I've got a little bit of ice in there already. I'm going to put 40 ml of the MACK in there. And we go with 20 ml of lemon juice, which I've already squeezed.
When you squeeze lemon juice, do you strain the pulp away?
No, not usually. I might consider doing that if I was presenting the drink in like a coupe glass or straight up. If I wanted exceptional kind of clarity to the drink, I didn't want any particulates floating around. But in a long drink like this, which is designed to be sipped and isn't too fussy, I wouldn't typically strain it. No. One thing I would say about juicing lemons is it's good to use one of those elbow juicers, because when you juice lemon juice that way, you get a lot of the oils from the skin imparted into the juice as well, and that's important for the flavor of the juice. I'm sweetening with a little bit of honey, because nothing says summer like honey. In fact, honey is one of those strange ingredients. It sort of seems somehow wintry and summery at the same time. Think about a hot toddy with honey. It works both ways. So we shake that one up. And then I've got a glass here which has already got ice in, which is partially melted.
I think everyone that was watching now was clapping their hands like we did in World Class, like all these.
I've always found
the weirdest thing ever.
It is applauding people when they shake cocktails. It's just bizarre. It's like, I find it uncomfortable when people applaud a pilot when he lands a plane, but at least that's spectacular. You've just landed a massive tube of steel. But
we just survived.
Yeah, exactly. But applauding someone for shaking something, I mean, it couldn't be easier. Right, so we strain that out into the glass, and then I'm going to top up with. You could top this up with soda if you wanted to. You could top it up with ginger. I have got a new mixer from Fever Tree, which is raspberry and rose.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. which is obviously very summer, springtime kind of aromas and flavors. And what that's going to do is pick out some of the fruity and floral qualities of the whiskey, which we've already talked about. So we'll top that up.
Is it a sweetened soda? Is it with sugar?
It's slightly sweetened, but it's not sweet. So yeah, you don't need to worry about it kind of making a really sweet cocktail. It's just got a slight sweetness to it, just to just to sort of bring out those aromas and just to bring out the flavors of the raspberry and rose, but not to actually come across as sweet. And then I'm going to town on the garnish this week. Okay, we've got fresh rose petals from my garden.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Organic, I might add. A couple of fresh raspberries. Turn this around so you can actually see it properly. And also from my garden, mint. Okay, so you've got a kind of trio of summer and spring. If I tip that up too much, I'm going to tip it out. I will tell you what I'll do.
Smart. That's the way to go.
There you go. A sort of trio of summer and spring.
It looks great.
Botanical ingredients there that really set the drink off. And the flavor you're getting is, I mean, a lot of it's that rose from the soda water. But the whiskey comes through as well, and it contributes that kind of apple, pear, orchardy, slightly floral note. And then you've got that kind of fruity, round raspberry quality in there as well. That sort of brings the whole thing together. Like, you could make up a whole pitcher of this if you wanted to, a jug, stick it on the table while you're having a barbecue, and like watch it vanish, basically.
It's like a Pim's Cup then, but with MACK. So it's a MACK cup.
It is a lot like a Pim's Cup, actually. Yeah, that's a good show. Yeah. So exactly, you know, if you think about Pim's as being, you know, this sort of spiced, botanical, lengthened out fizz stroke Collins type thing, that's exactly what it is. And yeah, just really, really drinkable, I think.
Yeah. And is the new soda from Fever, is it available? Or is it just you because of you?
No, I did get sent it by Fever Tree. If it's not available now, then it's imminent. They've just launched 3 new ones. So raspberry and rose, a blood orange soda, which I think is also a good candidate for mixing with certain expressions of MACK. In fact, I think certain expressions of Mackmyra, and I think we've actually talked about it in a previous episode. Yeah, and then there's a lime one as well, which also contains yuzu juice, the Japanese citrus fruit, for those who aren't familiar with it.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of mandarin and lime, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's just super aromatic citrus, but quite sour. Yeah. That's
really cool. Look great. Nice with the garnish. I like when you have the garnish.
I was out in the garden getting the mint, and I was like, oh shit, I've got a rose bush here as well. Yeah, that'll work.
I heard that you have a big garden then.
I don't have a big garden, mate. It's tiny. Like it
sounds like you have a huge garden. Oh, I actually got rose here. Oh, nice. So I'm going a little bit like you. I'm going also a little bit floral, but also pretty hoppy. So we're doing a beer cocktail today. So we have MACK, obviously, and we don't use measures anymore here at the Sunday sessions. We stopped with that. I tried to do it to be serious the first times, but then we just, fuck it.
Yeah.
So around 50 mils of MACK. Then Cloudberries, as you are familiar with. Cloudberries has these, it's a nutty tone, so it almost feel like Marcona almost when you got like the almond note really to it, but it's also peach, apricot. It's so many flavors, and it's like, I think it's the national berry of Sweden because it's such a cool berry, and it's actually looked like a cloudberry grenade, which is also cool because it's a reference to how much flavor it's packed inside it. So we use 20 mils of just a cloudberry syrup. So we take frozen cloudberries. You can use whatever. Back in UK, you can take raspberries. You can use apricot. Just put it down when it's frozen, and it actually melts into the syrup. So just warm out the syrup to like 70 to 80 degrees. just let it melt, because then you don't get that jam flavor, if you know what I mean, because you don't want a jammy flavor to it. You just want the freshness of it, and I think that is essential when you do a syrup with cloudberries or any berry, I think, because you don't want that breakfast marmalade kind of feeling to it.
Yeah.
So 20 mils of that, and to top it up, now we use you can use any IPA, obviously, but Brooklyn Defender, I think it's really good because it has that hoppy note that you love about an IPA, but it also a little bit balanced with the mango. It has some peach notes to it, and I think that goes really well with both MACK, just to enhance the flavors of the MACK, because it's such a floral, but you also talked about it being fruity. So we just top it up with some IPA. And because you had so much garnish today, I will not use any garnish at all, actually. But
I had enough garnish for both of us, I think.
And it's like a classic highball, but with beer. And you can add more MACK if you want to, but I think 50 mils is fine, because the first thing you will feel is beer, obviously, but then you get the balance from the Cloudberry and MACK comes together. So it's a really nice Swedish grog to try at home. And if you have a lot of beer, and now especially when it's 20 degrees outside here in Stockholm, and when it's this kind of weather, you just want to have a beer and maybe a MACK and some Cloudberries, and then you're done. And it goes well with like a dessert or whatever. This is just a perfect summer cocktail.
It sounds great. I mean, I love drinks where you combine together two ingredients that aren't necessarily that easy to mix by finding a unifying ingredient, you know?
Yeah,
so in this case, it's your Cloudberries, right? So
yeah,
that fruitiness, that sort of apricot-y, almondy flavor that you get from those, you know, that's going to work with the IPA, but it's also going to work with the whiskey. And you can do this like when you're creating your own cocktails. If you've got two ingredients, you're like, well, how the hell are you going to mix those two together? Well, find like a common denominator, find something that unifies those ingredients, and then work out the correct application, whether that's a long drink, short drink, sour style, whatever.
That's why we also talked about the Sunday sessions before. We talked about using salt to enhance flavors and to combine flavors that usually maybe not mix at all. But it's the same when you do a lot of cooking. I know you're a great chef also, but it's when you do a lot of great food, you can mix almost anything if you have the right combinations.
Yeah,
that is the same with cocktails. Very, very easy and straightforward. Yeah. Next Sunday when we're coming back, we will have, I think, one more guest, hopefully from Hong Kong, maybe two guests. So it will be you in Cornwall, Devender Kumar from Hong Kong, and hopefully Mo Al Jaff from Touche Max in Barcelona. So it will be like a talk show now. I will dye my hair gray now, so I look like Letterman, and get a really I will be even more colorblind, so I actually can use glasses. I look alike. But to get MACK, to buy it, go into mackmyra.co.uk. You will have a discount, and that discount goes directly back to Tristan and the guys at Black Rock. So we give something back during this tough era that we are just facing every day, and this is our way to give something back from Mackmyra, and to say thank you to Tristan is my partner here at the Sunday sessions, which is becoming a standard now.
It is now, yeah. If you're going to be the talk show host, then I'm going to have to be the one-man talk show band, I think.
Yeah, you're the guy that's sitting. Yeah, you're exactly. You're Questlove in Jimmy Fallon. I think that is a great reference. Thank you so much for today, Tristan. Enjoy the beautiful weather in Cornwall. I'll see you next Sunday.
Thanks, Emil. Good to spend time with you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.